I want to talk to you a little bit about animals right now. Wouldn't it be funny if humans were like penguins? I love penguins. They get in a big ball when it's cold in order to keep warm. What if humans did that? Like, you need to go to your car, right? And you're in the entryway of a building, but you need to keep warm, so you wait until about 10 people are together in the entryway, and then you just kind of go out in a big ball and each go to your cars, right? Or what if humans were like rams, like sheep and stuff? You know how they butt heads over territory, and they do that, to fight over mates? What if humans were like that? Like they'd be like, you with the girlfriend, hey, hey. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? But, yeah. You guys, have you ever heard about nuclear war? You've heard about nuclear war, right? You know how they always say that when the nuclear war happens, we're going to run out of food, civilization will be doomed. Well, I have a way that you could survive a nuclear war, and I'll tell you how. If people are going to be eating all the food in a nuclear war, well, where could they get food? And nobody else knows where it is. I'll tell you. The dog food factory. Who would think to go to a dog food factory for food? Nobody, I say. You just have to make sure that you don't get the tainted dog food, I guess. I really do like dogs, though. They're great animals. I have a couple dogs myself. My dog, Sophie, she's a little Jack Russell Terrier. She's the only woman that throws herself at me. Oh, come on, don't go, oh. It's not that bad. But have you ever noticed how dogs are like babies? Like, whenever you, first of all, dogs, they slobber all over themselves. They don't have any table manners, like babies. They crap and urinate everywhere, like babies. Whenever you see a person with a baby in the park or just walking around, you want to talk to the baby. You don't want to talk to the person. It's the same way with dogs. You don't want to talk to the person. You want to see the dog and pet the dog. It's true. You guys have all done that. But anyways, let me tell you a little bit about some other animals that I used to have. I used to raise hamsters, and hamsters. I'll see you guys later. Hamsters are interesting animals. They really, are not very bright. They're not very physically adept, but they are. They make do with what God gives them. Let's just say that. I remember I used to look at my hamsters, and I put them on, a table, for example, just to watch them run around. And they can only see about 9 inches in front of their face. I mean, because their eyes are that bad. Little hamster would sit there and he'd be like, well, okay, I'm just walking around, and he'd look over the edge, and without fail, they would just fall off the edge of the table. And unlike cats, hamsters do not always land on their feet. They land on their backs. So you'd have this hamster land on his back, and he'd just be like, ah! Stunned for a moment. And then he'd be thinking to himself, maybe I shouldn't be doing that anymore. Other times, the hamsters will be fighting each other, right? And when hamsters fight, I mean, it's really funny because they'll go, and then you have a hamster, one is on top of the other, and the other hamster on the bottom is like, and then eventually they'd stop, and the other guy would get off on, and the guy would be lying on the ground there like this. And sometimes I would come up to him while he was still closing his eyes, and I'd poke him, right? And he would go, and he'd open his eyes, and then he'd be like, oh, it's just you. Never mind. And then he'd go. Anyways, have you guys ever seen Law and Order? It's a good show, right? They come out with new Law and Order shows all the time. I think they could just come out with a new Law and Order show that's titled Law and Order. Dun, dun. And the entire show would just be dun, 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 60 minutes of that. And people would watch it. They'd probably be in the top 10, Anyways, have you guys ever seen I have a definition of a word I want to give you guys. Have you guys ever heard of the word lolocaust? It's like lol, laughing out loud, and then plus holocaust. Now, I don't know how other people have used that word, but I have a definition for that word. I think you should define it as something that's funny, hypothetically, but if it actually does happen, it's tragic and sad. Like, for example, you know, when a person's rocking a vending machine and banging on it, and it falls on top of him and kills him. That's a lolocaust, because hypothetically that's funny. But if it happened in real life, it would actually be very tragic. Well, it would be a little funny if it happened in real life. It reminds me, like, when I used to go to this high school called the Oklahoma School of Science and Math, and it was, you know, the school for the smart kids, and we had to apply to get in there and everything. And you go in the lounge area, and people would often be found banging on the vending machine and rocking it, you know, to get free candy and stuff. And I thought, you know, imagine if somebody from the smart school rocked on the vending machine and it fell down and killed him, and he got a Darwin Award for it. That would be pretty embarrassing for OSSM, wouldn't it? But anyways, when you do get candy in that way, is it like the law of the sea? Is it like buried treasure, you know, finders keepers? Anybody can get it? Da-da-da-da! You know, that kind of thing? But anyways, you know, I work at the library. Some of you guys may have seen me in there. And, you know, we have this machine in there that beeps if somebody goes out of there without checking out a book. And ostensibly, it's to keep people from stealing books and that kind of thing. But really, I don't think it does anything. It's like a car alarm. It just goes off by accident all the time, and nobody pays attention. I think it would be more fun if it had a human touch to it. Like, you know, whenever, instead of beeping, it would say something like, "Halt, citizen. Lay down with your hands behind your back and prepare for a full body cavity search." I think that would make it to where more people manage to check out their books instead of stealing them. But wouldn't it be funny if, you know, computers were more like, if computers were like the ones in Star Trek? You know how in Star Trek in the 60s, people thought the computers would be talking, you know, whenever the computer did something in Star Trek, it would go, "Working." You know, and you'd like want it to crunch a number on the calculator and would go, "Working." And wouldn't it be cool if computers were kind of like the way they thought they would be in the 60s? Like, you know, so your computer, you do a calculation and it says, "Working." You know, and you save your file and it says, "Saving." You know, and you're looking at porn and it says, "Downloading porn." You know, but have you guys heard about black people? We've all heard about black people, right? Have you, what do they call African Americans in other countries? You know, we call them African Americans, right? But what do they call them in, like, Germany? Do they call them African Germans? Or, like, what do they call African Americans that migrate to Europe? Is it African American Europeans? Or something like that? I remember one time I was watching a documentary on the History Channel. It talked about how Hitler would round up African Americans and put them in his concentration camps. And I thought, you mean black people that lived in Germany? African Americans? You know, I mean, I guess the guys making the documentary thought that black people were not always called African Americans. So, you know.